Sports College Football. I'm Reese Davis, here with David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's get this thing rolling. And the Buckeyes will put total leather to crank us up. And he's going to try to return this one. Rolling the dice to bring it up. End zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. The give to the tailback. That hole closed quickly, a pickup of 1 to the 15.
And you want to run the football. That's okay. You'll take some of these. But if they start to add up down the road, obviously, you might want to think about airing it out a little bit.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Looking to throw. It's Green. Buys a little extra time. Slides away. And he's able to bounce off one tackle, but still not a whole lot of running room.
And the defense just setting the tone right away in the first drive of the game. Quarterback scrambling, is able to get free, but they put a massive shot on him. I don't know if this dude can make it the whole game taking hits like that.
Third down, and they'll need 5 to keep this opening drive moving. From the gun, wants to pass. Moving away from pressure. Got a little space. They'll pick up the first down as he gets it out to the 27-yard line.
And usually when a QB takes off and scrambles, it's because the defense didn't do a great job keeping lane integrity, not keeping him in the pocket, letting him get outside, and then he can do damage. Then it's the next play that you have to play instead of this just the original pass. So defense has got to do a better job of keeping that guy in the pocket.
The Razorbacks with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. Wants to fire on second down. Using his feet to buy time. Escapes trouble. And he's very fortunate to get it back to the line of scrimmage, greeted by a sea of defenders.
QBs do a really good job of feeling pressure and trying to get away from it. You can see he wants to, but there's nowhere to go. Great job by the defense, getting him to the ground for no gain.
Back in motion, try to clear the picture. Unloads to the wideout. Intercepted, and the first drive ends with a pick. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception.
And that's kind of a double whammy for this offense, because on their opening drive, not only did they turn it over with the interception, but they've now set their defense up in a really tough spot deep in their own end.
This is what we expected. This crowd ready to make its presence known. Single back formation, and they give it to him. They'll put the brakes on him at the 21, give him a yard.
Run game is good. Balance is good. Now listen, if the run game isn't good, then you got to pass the football a little bit more. But sometimes you got to keep them honest, take them chunk by chunk.
This crowd, full throat, splitting the eardrums and letting them know it's going to be a long day. They'll try to get outside. He goes out of bounds right at the 15-yard line.
And every offense has plays that they really hang their hat on. And back in 1970, it was the toss. The toss play used to be the thing. You don't see as much of this nowadays. It's early in the game. Maybe it's something you wanted to show. Or, listen, maybe defensively this is something you need to start focusing on.
This crowd knows when to bring it. Looking for a man. It's Sayin. Buys a little time with his feet. Gets rid of it. And they can't make the play on third down.
Yeah, and third and short, they choose not to run, throw the football, and I think a lot of that has to do with they know they're in field goal range. They can take the 3 points on the board.
And the field goal unit will stay put as the head coach decides to go for it on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Hauls it in, the first down and more. Touchdown, Buckeyes! Made the grab and took it on in for the score. The offense did exactly what it needed to do, getting the ball in field position like that.
It's that killer mentality. You step on their throat, you keep your foot down. When you get opportunities like that, they are golden chances to put touchdowns on the board. The offense took care of business.
Getting ready for the extra point after the first score of the game. And the extra point makes it 7-0. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And they finish it up with a 15-yard scoring toss. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. And he's not going to take the touchback. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. They'll start this drive from the 18-yard line. Wide receiver going in motion. Looking for a man. It's Green. Got his man on the right. He'll get it up to about the 32-yard line before he stopped, and it'll be first down.
Hey, man, this fullback is a weapon. Nice job catching the football and then turning upfield to go pick up that first down.
They'll snap this one from the 32. It's first down. To the air on first down. Knew where he wanted to go with it, but couldn't find his target. It's incomplete.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on first down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him and just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target. The window way too small. The guy was not open, so that didn't have that chance to be complete.
Plenty of work to do here on second and long. Leaves it with the running back. They stop him cold, maybe gets a yard to the 34.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They'll get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
They've got to come up with a big play on this third and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Pulls it in, it's Anthony. They'll make the stop about 3 yards short of the first down. And the Razorbacks want to pick up the tempo. On fourth down, they'll try to throw it. Converts on fourth down, and he's still going. No hesitation, no trying to baby the ball in there. He just fired it complete.
Fourth down, no problem. I'm just going to rip this to my wide receiver. He believed in himself. He knew he could get it, and they get the fourth down conversion.
All down, but he has enough to move the chains.
I like the running back there on the route and the patience he showed, really setting it up. Got to the defender, was able to put his foot in the ground, get some separation, catch it, and turn upfield for the first.
To the air, it's Green. Throws to the wideout. It's caught. And you can see the offense just feeling itself. They've got it down to the 21.
Now, I know that completion isn't a touchdown. It's not a deep play deep down the field, but how about the strong hands by that receiver making that catch? He made that look pretty routine. He had that DB draped all over him and still was able to help this offense get positive yards.
They make the stop, and that will likely bring us to the end of the first quarter. So second down here as we're back at it after the break. Wants to go up top. Looking for an open area to his left. They could have used a little bit more there. Pick up a 3. It's 3rd and 7. The Razorbacks have moved it inside the 20. On 3rd and long, trying to have a big completion here. Now improvising. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
You just wonder if the quarterback's trying to get it all back after throwing a pick the last time out. This time, that was not a good read. The defender was all over that throw. He should have intercepted that, but thanks to the drop, the offense stays on the field. This quarterback has got to take a breath, and he's got to settle himself down.
Quarterback may change this route. On 4th down, trying to find his man. Dumps it to the back. Drop the football, and they'll turn it over on downs. And that decision will be questioned for a while.
That is just a play you have got to be able to come up with. They don't get bigger than that. 4th down, you've got to make the catch. Whether it's a perfect throw or whether it's off of your body, you're good enough and you're athletic enough to haul that play in. You've got to make the play for your quarterback and your offense to keep that drive alive. He's not able to come up with it. Just didn't seem like the quarterback and his intended target were on the same page there.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on 2nd down. On the ground, it's Peoples. And he is stopped immediately by the big defensive lineman.
Great job of contained by this defense. And in order to do that, the end man on the line of scrimmage defensively has got to be able to set the point and force the football back into traffic. That's exactly what happened.
Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on 3rd down. Back to pass, it's Sayin. Fires left. And they'll miss the connection here on 3rd down.
Well, after giving up that touchdown on the opening drive, they had a little bit of a come to Jesus with their defensive coordinator on the sideline. I don't know what he said, but he, I think, just invoked the fear of God into this defense, because this 3 and out has been sensational, dominant. This is the way they've got to play moving forward.
Working his way on the return up to the 40-yard line before he stopped. They'll start this drive 60 yards in front of them from their own 40. Wide receiver comes in motion. Quick pass on the jet motion. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
It's now second down.
And the Razorbacks now with a long way to go to pick up the first down. To the air on second down. Got the quick pass. He stepped out of bounds right at the 45-yard line, and now they're starting to put things together.
Nice job there. Good timing between the QB and the wide receiver executing that out route.
This defense will try to force a fourth down on 3rd and short from the 45. From the gun, wants to pass. Fires to the tight end. He'll be stopped about 2 yards short of a first down. They didn't quite get that route run deep enough to pick up the first down. Now they've got a 4th and short.
And I think everybody at home tends to yell at their television set, why aren't you getting past the first down marker? Why did you run your route short? Defense did a good job knowing where that was, but now, 4th down, offense has to make a decision.
A couple of yards shy of the first down marker, but they've decided this is 4-down territory. The offense still on the field. Quarterback adjusting the pattern. On 4th down, they'll pass for it. Complete and looking for enough for the first down. And they finally get him to the ground. An easy conversion for this offense. Defense not exactly the perfect 4th down call there.
That tells you a lot about their confidence in this quarterback. 4th down early in the game on your own end, and you go for it. But when you make decisions and throws like that, it's easy to see why.
Finally, this offense starting to shake the cobwebs and get things moving. It's 1st and 10. Looking to pass. It's Green. Bringing the heat. The sure hands. It's Anthony. Oh, out of space. A huge chunk play as he gets it all the way down to the 11.
Nice job by the receiver there, running the drag route against zone coverage, finding the soft spot, making it easy on his quarterback to get the completion. He turns it upfield, and he moves the sticks.
Whistle blows, and this is the 2-minute timeout, and these guys have a chance to take the lead before halftime. The Razorbacks are marching down the field. Toss sweep. Try to get it outside to the right. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
When the offense gets in those multiple tight end looks, you kind of have a good understanding of what's coming. You don't know where the ball's going necessarily, but they'll put those big old bodies in there to block, to move people, to put more mass on the field, especially once you get in this red area where you have to be able to run the football effectively. Those passing windows tend to shrink a lot.
Going to work on 2nd down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. Looking to fire. He's got it on the move. They'll mark him down at the 2. The excellent execution on that throw and catch.
Get the completion, and now you set up a manageable 3rd down situation in the red zone. This is a huge down in distance in this game.
Boy, they'd love to move the sticks here and take a shot at it on 1st and goal. Might be calling a hot route. He'll take it himself. And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, Razorbacks!
Nice job putting a drive together. Nice job punctuating the end of the first half. There's still some time left, Palmer, but they can tie this thing up right now.
Yeah, and this is a staff that has so much confidence in their offense. I like staying aggressive right here, going for 2, taking the lead into halftime, and putting a ton of pressure on the opponent.
And they did tack on that extra point without any adventure. That touchdown drive covered 61 yards and finished the deal with the short touchdown run from the 2. They're set to kick it off. You think this crowd's going to get loud when their defense comes on the field? Looks as if the returner will try and field this one. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. They'll get things started on this drive from the 24. Dropping back, it's Sayin. Dances away. He throws into the middle of the field. And that will be incomplete. Man, that would have been a big hitter if they could have done it, but second down coming.
It's nice when a QB can get outside the pocket and break down a defense and take off, but I thought the defense did a really good job of seeing it, understanding where he was going, kind of mirroring him towards the sideline as he rolled out to the right. Didn't give him any space to run the football, covering the pass deep. Really nice defense on that play.
And back to the air on second down. And the pressure gets there. And down he goes at the 18.
How nice is it as a defense when you can drop 7 guys into coverage, only rush 4, and still get home? That makes you feel good if you're the D coordinator.
Chains keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. Timeout called by the defense. It's their first of the half as they'll make some adjustments. Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third and long, no secret what he needs here. Tight end finds a soft spot. Tackle is made at the 27. Let's see if they decide to punt it. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. Emboldened by converting a 4th down earlier in the game, they'll try a second time. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. He'll pull it down, and that's a live ball. And the offense will recover, but it's not going to make any difference as they're short of the first down marker. Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. The Buckeyes will have it 1st and 10. Back to throw, it's Sayin. Uncorks it. Got his man to the left. He'll go out of bounds right at the 30-yard line. A big play as this offense in business.
And that was awesome by the offense. Good completion, great awareness by the receiver getting out of bounds. If you're on offense now, jog off the field, get the field goal kicker out there. You're going to steal 3 points at the end of the half.
Looking to throw on 1st down. He's going for it all. The pass is incomplete, and 1 second is left.
There's a lot of QBs that when they get hit and when they get hurried and when they get pressured, they become very average. Really nice job by the defense pressuring the quarterback.
Misfired on 1st down, back to the air on 2nd. The pass falls incomplete, and that's how we'll finish this half. That's going to wrap it up here in the first half. Stay tuned. Second half not too far away. And the Razorbacks will kick it away to start the second half. Coming out with it, it's Graham. Gets it out to the 20, about 5 yards short of where he'd be if he'd just taken a knee in the end zone. They'll snap it from the 20 for the opening play of this drive. He wastes no time and comes out throwing, working the middle. They finally get to him, but what a play there to pick up the first down.
Really nice throw there to get the first down. And, you know, when you think about Ohio State quarterback play, especially here recently, it all comes down to efficiency. You have to make good decisions. You got to read the defense, and you got to be accurate. When you think of guys like Justin Fields, C.J. Stroud, guys who went in the first round, that's what they did. And
it's picked off. Not the second half start they'd hoped for. Didn't really have room to operate on the return, but he hands him the ball at the 32. Great place to start for this offense. The toss to the outside. He'll try to take it back. They stop him just short of the first down, but it will be 2nd and inches coming up.
And that would be the definition of first down success. Putting yourself in a good position. It's 2nd and inches. I can do whatever I want next. I can take a shot down the field. I can run the football and get a new set of downs. Like, nice first down execution.
Grab near the marker. It's Blake. He hauled that one in and got it down to the 15-yard line.
Slants are very tough to cover, but they become way tougher when you got a big body wide receiver like that. It's almost like basketball where he's boxing you out. He gets inside real quick, uses that big body to shield you off, and even if you're playing man-to-man, you just got to get him on the ground and try to disrupt him some way.
Rides the back and leaves it on the option. Touchdown, Arkansas! And with that one, they jump on top here in the second half.
And that's why it's so tough to stop an option offense and plays like this, because defensively you've got to be so good with your assignments. Someone needs the dive. Someone needs the quarterback. Who's got the pitch man? That time nobody on defense had the answer.
And he added the extra point. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Fielded in the end zone, it's Tate. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. Good news, I guess. A lot of room to work with as they start this drive from their own 15. They'll go to the ground. It's a seam wide open. Oh, he's got some space. He's inside the 40. And that was a huge run that almost went to the house. The defense kept him from scoring.
The defense has got to be more physical up front. Don't let them have those running lanes, those holes to break off a nice run, get a first down. And here's the thing, you better reload quick because
he's loose. And into the end zone. And he'll race it to the house. Touchdown, Ohio State.
What a nice touchdown run, and this is a team effort, right? It's got to start with the offensive line to give you that crease, and then the wide receivers start to kick in, and the running back, he handles the rest. Nice touchdown run.
Setting up for the extra point and the top. And the extra point was made without incident, and we're tied up here in the third. Well, they didn't exactly milk the clock on that drive, did they? 2 plays and into the end zone for the touchdown. Now they'll try to get another possession with an onside kick. Not much drives more anxiety than waiting to see if the hands team can corral the onside kick, and they do. The Hogs send that offense back onto the field. That touchdown lead they had has disappeared, and now we have a whole new ball game as they start the drive. defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. This has been a tight one, third quarter, all tied up. It's now 2nd and 10. They'll move the wide receiver. They'll run play action. Trying to burn this defensive back. And it's incomplete, going for the massive explosive play instead. They're looking at a 3rd down.
Well, the offense is trying to take a shot deep down the field. How about the coverage? Knocking that ball away and doing it clean. No PI on that one.
Looking to throw, it's Green. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
And we need more of this from this defense, man. They have let this guy have too much time to throw the football. They haven't gotten that jersey dirty yet, haven't sacked him. But this is just as good as a sack. Getting to him, hitting him, letting him feel the physicality of this game, and not letting him feel comfortable.
Three straight misfires has left them staring at 4th and 10, but they'll try it again. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover. He was trying to get that return going. Instead, he'll hand it to his offense at the 38. Opening snap of this drive comes from the 38-yard line. Gonna run it. It's Peoples. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
You see all this movement in football now, all the stim in the defensive line. They're sliding right before the snap, creating confusion for the offensive line. Then they're moving back and stunting. Really good job by the defense. Continue to move, continue to stunt, continue to get in the backfield and make this life hard on this running back.
Going to swing it on 2nd down. Throws to the tight end. Intercepted.
What a great job by the defense that time. Cover 1, man coverage, and you just see how everybody was impressed. When you press receivers, you disrupt their timing. You get your hands on them at the line of scrimmage, you jam them, and it completely disrupts the quarterback and his thought process. And that time, that was a big reason that ball got INT.
First snap of this drive will come from the 46. They weren't able to get that one off. It'll be a delay of game. So frustrating to see an offense lose track of the play clock and pick up a penalty like that. Defense better dig in for the run. Heavy formation is there. Now on the option. He'll toss it. Creating some space, getting just enough good blocking, and they've got it up to the 47-yard line.
This offense is just like Novocaine. Like, just give it time. It just keeps working. It's a slow death, right? Like, they continue to just chip away. Nice 1st down play. Nice read. Get it to the pitch man. Sets up a great 2nd down opportunity.
Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. To the air. It's Green. Starting to feel a little pressure. Got it in the middle. It's Blake. Couple of guys there to get him on the ground.
I think this defense really needs to start thinking about really fencing this quarterback in. You cannot let him go east or west because he will extend the play with his legs and his speed and then hurt you throwing the football.
The Razorbacks come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to convert here. They thought they could just run it on 3rd and short, but this defense was there to make the stop.
The defense really gets it. They understand what's going on. The quarterback is a threat to run the football. I have to understand that. It changes the way I play defense. Am I going to have more speed on the field? Whatever I do, I got to make sure I do what they did right there. Focus in on the QB, lock in, and make sure he doesn't beat me.
On 4th down, they'll throw for it. Big tight end makes the grab. It's a 1st down. And the Razorbacks are stopped, but not before getting it past the sticks. It's 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Wants to throw on 1st down. Going to try to pop one on the screen. They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and you're going to see this offense find different ways to get this running back involved. It's not just going to be on handoffs, and they're certainly going to line him up in different places and even throw him the football. But the screen game's a big part of it, too. They're trying to get him going there.
As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. 2nd down, he'll throw it. He's moving out of the pocket. With the catch, it's Anthony. And they'll drag him down. That's likely the last play of the 3rd quarter. So we open the final period with a 3rd down play. He'll try to pick it up on the ground. He just needed a yard on 3rd down, and there just wasn't any room to pick it up.
And you can tell, all eyes on this dude. Like, this defense is dialed in. They're going to try to continue to stop the run. You can tell, Palmer, it's the main focus of this defense.
Yeah, when we know with this offense, too, they go how this guy goes, and they've just never been able to really get him into a rhythm in this game. And you have to give the credit to the defense. They've been more physical at the point of attack. They've had a good game plan. The offense just has not been able to counterpunch.
The decision to go for it does not pan out. This drive will get underway from just inside the 35 at their own 34. Dropping back, it's Sayin. A little screen to the running back. There he goes! He gets it past the 1st down marker, and a really nice job to set up that screen and move the sticks. The execution on that screen pass is one that will go in a coaching clinic.
Nice execution on the screen. Allow the rush to come upfield. Now I release, get the ball to the running back. I got my playmaker in space. Nice chunk yardage play right there by the offense.
Turning it on! Really good job by everybody there. Well blocked, good run, and a 1st down.
Well, this offense is going to try and grind their way to a win now, and they're going to start force-feeding this guy the football, too. He's made a few plays earlier in this game, but now in the 4th quarter, it's about force-feeding him, getting some push up front, and just icing this thing.
To the ground, he's got it again. Tough run in this part of the field. He's got 4 down to the 23. Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Back to pass. Safe completion on the screen. No, sirree, not this time. The defense was there and ready for that one.
You know, that's one as a quarterback. When you see all those defenders around your intended target like that, just throw it in the ground or throw it away. I mean, that's a completion that loses yards. You're just hurting your offense.
What a big play this one could be. Tight game, getting late, 3rd and long coming up. Play action. Now rolling to the left. Fires downfield. And it's intercepted. Oh, what a big play in a tie game. Good gain on the return, and this defense has set them up with a big play. The defense was looking for a huge play in this tie game, and they have just given their team a great opportunity.
I think, Reese, at this point of the game, tied late, it's going to come down to who can make the most plays. The defense comes up with a massive play, creating that turnover. Outstanding job by the D. All 11 guys being on the same page, now putting their offense in great position.
The Razorbacks can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. Looking to throw, it's Green. Moving out of the pocket. He's going to fire into the gut of the defense. Defense on skates that time. They finally drag him down at the 42.
And you see more and more of this in college football, finding your playmakers in space, whether it's a receiver, a tight end, or in this case, a running back, way down the field. Get him isolated, find your matchup, and how about the running back turning into a receiver?
This time they'll go to the running game. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
Home crowd not going to love it. You got to throw the ball to win this game. They do not like the play call with not a lot of time left in the game.
And the Razorbacks trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Back to pass on second down. Steps away to find some room. Fires on the move. Not able to hook up there, incomplete.
Well, I know it hasn't been a tremendous day statistically for this quarterback, but his decision-making has been good enough to win this game. Hasn't thrown a lot of TDs so far, but when things aren't open, he throws it away like on that play right there. He's not putting his team in a bad spot, and that's why they still have a shot to walk out of here with a W.
They need to get a little closer for a field goal try, and they've got to do it in a hurry. On third and long, try to convert through the air. Trying to escape and get it himself. Timeout called here by the defense. It's the first one they've used this half.
Great job by the defense there. First off, getting pressure initially and then forcing him outside the pocket. After that, excellent effort. All eyes on the quarterback. And you see the speed this defense has. They're going to be putting a lot of heat on this guy throughout the game.
He's going for the big play. And it's knocked away. They'll give up the ball, failing to convert on fourth.
Man, that is just a great job on defense there on fourth down, making a play on the ball in the air. Everybody had their eyes on the quarterback, but having great timing, swatting the ball away and doing it cleanly. No PI. And as a result, that defense has earned a rest. They're coming off the field.
Looking downfield, it's Sayin. Turns it loose deep. Couldn't hang on to that one. This defense has already picked off 3 passes, almost had the 4th. It'll be second down.
Hey, this offense has been a struggle bus. I mean, just call it like it is, guys. It hasn't been good, especially the passing game. And I'll tell you what, QB's played better games before. And I'm interested to watch. Can he stay positive? Can he finish this game off on a good note?
Second down, they'll go to the air. Fires to the wideout. It's caught downfield. And they exploited that soft spot, and they get it down to the 35.
Man, this quarterback is going to have to be deadly accurate here in this 2-minute situation, right? And that's really what he's had to be all game long. He hasn't had a lot of yards because the coverage has just been so tight. He's had to be pinpoint perfect. It's been hard just to find completions. No doubt, that's going to be the same thing here in this 2-minute drive.
And incomplete on the deep ball.
And I like it. Very smart defense. Understanding the clock. Understanding they're going to try to push the ball down the field. Great job playing deep. Breaking on the football. Making sure that receiver doesn't catch it. Smart IQ defense.
Second down, they'll go to the air. And the pressure will get there. The sack. Down he goes in the waiting moments. That could be a costly play.
This offense is going to have to come up with a plan to block this guy. He is an absolute monster, and he showed you all his tools on that sack.
On third and long, you'll have to turn it loose deep. Fires to the middle. He's got it. They bring him down, but he's got a first and goal from the 10.
That's what's so scary about this offense. They've got guys in the perimeter that can change the game in one single play, and you saw it right there. Too much speed on the perimeter to create that explosive play.
With the run on 1st and goal. He's brought down at the 6, but the defense feeling the heat to make a stop here. Quick tempo, no huddle offense. 2nd down, clock's running. The run up the middle, trying to find his way to the goal line. Relentless, tough running, gets it down to the 4. Timeout is called with just 2 seconds left to go. They're happy enough to try to take the points as the field goal unit heads out. Timeout is called with just 2 seconds left to go. This is the game-winning play. Win it or lose it on this field goal attempt. They'll try to cap off this drive with a field goal. And it is good. Splits the uprights on the chip shot. Sometimes it's just not your day. Things just didn't work, and that seemed to be the case here.
Yeah, they didn't get the W. They didn't do enough. But now you start to think about what could I have done differently? What do I need to become more offensively? Defensively, what can I morph into to make those extra plays, Jesse? That might be the difference in the next game that I play.
Yeah, David, they just need a little bit more. They need a little bit better effort next week. They're going to need better preparation this week in practice. There's no doubt this team has a lot of talent, but we just need a little bit more to ensure that this doesn't happen next week.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.